No,
When
no,
you
no.
notice you're awake, that's joyful.
Yeah, yeah, and just, and I guess, the interesting thing is when I reflected back on it, there are a lot of times, and I'm sure we've all had that, where you dreaded waking up because of where you were framing what that meant and who you're going to need to be and what was going to happen, and especially if your life is stressful, and so you want to go back to sleep. So it was an interesting thing thinking, how can I recognize I'm awake and feel good about that fact, even if afterwards day's going to be chaos, or I have to do things I'm not looking forward to or whatever. But in that one moment, can I have gratitude would be a better word than joy, I think.
Yeah.
It's more grateful that I'm aware that I'm breathing one more day. Yeah, it's interesting though.
I'm letting it soak in for a second. It is right up my alley in terms of, that old saying is, life is not about how many breaths you take, but how many times your breath is taken away, or how many moments take your breath away. And
Yeah,
it,
and it's funny, like, when John passed, the it was almost 3 weeks of waking up after he had passed. He was so important and brought so much value into my life, and I'd wake up and remember that he was gone, that he had transitioned, and I would smile and say, "Oh, John." And then later, like the first week, I cried a lot, and I had a lot of grief, and gusts of that. But in
sure.
that moment, it was always this gratitude for our time together, and it's such an interesting, is a really interesting moment. It's like almost pure because all the noise hasn't quite crept in yet. So yeah, I think you'd have a lot of fun experimenting with it. It's very interesting.
Well, can I task you with reminding me each time we see each other and just ask me how I'm doing with noticing I'm awake?
Absolutely.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I do
There's
want to throw in. I recently heard like a neuroscientist pointing out just something subtle, like you're not lying asleep, and suddenly you say to yourself, "I think I'll open my eyes now." It
Mm,
just happens, and you don't know what is the
yeah,
catalyst making you open your eyes. So then you
yeah,
know.
yeah.
and it just kind of again reinforces the whole notion of that life isn't in the moments that you do things, it's in the moments where you have great questions, like the best questions about what just happened. What does this mean to me? Who I am right now is a mystery, and I kind of like it, that whole thing. And my share on joy is these two little men that I'm going to be spending 10 days with in Colorado, 2.5 weeks from now. We're going out to see my grandsons, and just thinking about them, we have this game that we play together called How Many Times Does It Take for Us to Have These Nonverbal Looks back and forth before all of us just break up in laughter.
That's awesome.
And their job is to really make grandpa work hard at it. So when they break down and start with the guffawing and the giggling and all the rest of that stuff, um, it gives me goosebumps thinking about it, and that is pure joy in the moment, and that's a joy I can recreate just by telling you about it anytime I want to. So here we are, and I would like to make it available if anybody has any parting words. We're having a makeup session here because we haven't done this for a minute, but I'm so glad we did it today. You all are remarkable human beings, and I appreciate you and I love you.
I'm good.
That was a nice pause for Eric. Leave that in there, Eric. Don't you dare touch that pause. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Have a great one. And you at home, thank you for tuning in to Lighting the Candle, A World That Works. And we're going to be available now and into the future on all of your favorite podcast platforms. And thanks for tuning us in. We do love you, and we do want to be your partner in getting through this tough time. We can do this together, can't we?
Mhm.
Yes, indeed.
And let's
Yeah.
be stronger and more loving coming out the other side. And let's be connected to that flow of love that Ken is talking about. Let's just really get in touch with that. All right. Bye-bye for now, ladies and gentlemen.
Have a good
Bye-bye.
week.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
You've been listening to Lighting the Candle, A World That Works, part of the Exvadio Podcast Network. You can catch us each week, as well as the rest of the network, at exvadio.com/podcasts, as well as the Apple Podcasts app, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Audible, Amazon Music, and wherever you find podcasts.